It's well said that, yes, there are always two sides to the coin, and we have had a perspective from a person who's been long associated with financial issues. So let's join hands to give him a round of good applause on what he said. We really are running out of time, so I'm not going to have that second round going. But nevertheless, I would like to just sum up to say that I've been a person, like Commodore Bhargav said, waiting to take my ship out to sea. I've done 9 ships in my tenure, and some of those going out to sea experiences are themselves big lesson on why we need indigenization. Agreed. Most of the time, my problems have been solved by MSMEs. Most of the time. They've always come to my rescue. Phone call away, saying that please do this for me. You get the money from the ships impressed and pay it based on a local purchase authorization that you get from the material superintendent. But they are small ticket items. The small items with a big cost. I was mentioning to somebody the other day, I had a problem with my boiler gauge glasses, and just the problem was a mica joint. The joint was not available. And without this, I couldn't box up my boiler, I couldn't go out to sea. We were delayed by 2 days. Can you imagine warship not going out to sea on a mission planned earlier on for the sake of just one mica joint? This is, like somebody say, you lose the war for want of a nail. There is an issue here. There is an issue that needs to be addressed. The user, the forces, are gearing up to run a race. Run a race with a horse not yet born, on a course which is not yet designed, not yet laid. We are looking at something far into the future. We don't know what the scenario is going to be in the next war, when that war is going to be. What do we really require at that point of time? We prepare ourselves. Hence, the forces look at our equipment with a great sense of reverence. We revere that piece of metal. We revere that piece of equipment, because they are going to save not just my life, but the prestige of our nation. Therefore, defense is not about just innovating for the sake of innovation. It's innovating to meet a necessity. We need to develop an industry which can react to the need that emerges. It's like shooting a missile, no? You're looking at a target far ahead of its present state with another object which is yet to take off. There has to be a point in time and space where the two meet. And that's what we want. That's what we want to happen. The case of indigenization is very strong. There is no doubts that it has to be done. To make anything happen, money is required. If industry has to sustain, the industrialists have to be sustained. They have to be sustainable. They have to have a workforce that can be looked after. You have to have your stomach full for your brain to think. And that's when things are going to happen. So payments are important. First request to DIIA from all of us is that issues based on finance probably be given the first half session of any of these conferences that we have. Because that is something that is going to capture the sentiment of what the industry feels. We all know that innovation is required. We all know that indigenization is required. Most, if not many, know how much of money is there in the market. It is there in the open domain. There is no point in having to reiterate or repeat that. What is important, like Mr. Cowshish said, is to find solutions. to find practical ways of doing what needs to be done, to suggest to those who are running the system what they need to adopt. And that's where people with experience like Mr. Pahwa or Mr. Dushyant Deshpande, Mr. Gune and Mr. Manikandan will help. These are the people who have worn shoes that pinched them. They're all at some point of time been first-time entrepreneurs. They have felt the heat. They have felt the pangs of hunger to reach where they have reached today. We respect them for that. They are the people on whom a large part of the defense industry is dependent. They represent a bigger lot. We need to look at their issues. We need to look at the objectives that they have. We need to encourage them to carry on with what they can do and create an environment that is conducive for both the industrialists, the people running the establishments, the defense forces ultimately. Therefore, though I have many points that I've written down from each of the speakers, I'm not highlighting them, but most, if not all, dealt with issues that are live, issues most of us are aware of, but for which we do not have clear-cut solutions. We'll work towards that. DIIA as a platform will endeavor to obtain your views, obtain suggestions. There's no point in just saying, I have a problem. If you can tell what solutions can be applied to solve that problem, that will make the task easier, better, more achievable. And with that, may I request all of you to give my panelists a very good hand, thanking each of them for their contributions to this.